Lighthouse has been out for some time now, as the newest map added to Tarkov. How does it fare to the other ones? How does it feel to play as a PMC versus as a scav? Is it worth playing at all? The design itself is awesome, especially when you take a look at the map's overall layout. It makes so much sense, and it feels good to move and navigate around this coastal town with chalets, sunken villages, and a water treatment plant that's not accessible under traditional circumstances. With all that being said, right out of the gate, the spawns are rough, at least as a PMC. And here I was thinking interchange was awful. Because the map is so much longer and closer to the shape of a rectangle rather than something like a square, spawns are usually either on the west or east sides of the map, which are next to each other, with varying levels of elevation. Yeah, you can kind of see where this is going. It leads to very quick back to stash situations, compounded if you spawn on the coastline. While certainly a very somber and peaceful scene, the shore does have points of interest, and the most notable, the actual lighthouse itself, is not currently accessible to us, which we knew going into this wipe was going to be the case. When it will become open for us to explore and finally see our first real in-game trader, we don't know. I would expect this year at some point, but let's not be too optimistic, shall we? Coming back to Lighthouse, it's definitely the most unique map we have on offer currently. It feels the most out of place, but like, in a good way. I think that boils down to, again, the actual layout of the map, especially if you look at it from a bird's eye view, like if you go to the wiki and look at the 3D top-down map. On the east, you have huge mountains impeding any progress towards shoreline, even though there's technically an extract leading you into shoreline. And on the west, the coast. Simple, serene water that allows you to navigate either south towards the lighthouse or north towards the treatment plant and the rogues. Alright, the rogues are a whole can of worms. A lot of discussion has been going on since day one about how their AI works and whether or not it's intelligent, or stupid, broken, or easily manipulatable. From my own personal experiences, and this is coming primarily from scav runs and the occasional PMC run, the rogues are absolutely broken and busted. But to be honest, I don't see a timeline where they can be balanced and not just farmable. Oh wait, they kind of already are, because certain angles and spots exist where if you peek them correctly, you're not in danger of getting shot at. So people have been using that to their advantage to not only farm the loot off the rogues, but the surrounding area as well. At least their loot is pretty fair, like level 4 armor most of the time, decently kitted guns. But the best part is that they don't have the best ammo, because they already have such godlike aim. Giving them something like 5.5A1 would make them beyond broken. So thank God BSG had the foresight to not give them the best in slot ammo. Because loot on Lighthouse, already being nerfed once, is still really strong. You can get bitcoins, folders, military tech. There's a ton of high value stuff on the map, both inside and outside the water treatment plant, so it's a really good scav running map, and it's great for PMCs, but because of how bad the spawns are, the extractions can be a little rough sometimes. Overall, the map is really interesting. All the new quests they've added at least give us a reason to go there, especially now that a lot of the good gear is locked behind those quests. Some scopes, weapons, armor, they're all locked behind completing quests. Even just barters for gear are not available at traders anymore when you just level them up, which sucks, but at the same time creates a good incentive to go and get those tasks done. For example, the CPC level 5 armor rig is now locked behind a task. Not on Lighthouse, mind you, but this was a change that hit every map, so it's worth mentioning. The map is an incredible scav location. Whether you just want some loot, or you risk it fighting rogues, it really reminds me of when Reserve first came out. The map had a shit ton of loot on it, and you could fight raiders, so there was a lot of reasons to go there. And this was even before D2 and the whole underground section was added. I suspect Lighthouse will tell a similar story in Reserve to that regard. And now, combined with Voight, people are really willing to work together to take them down. Or at the very least, use the friendly extract for some free karma. Well, they were, but not a lot of people use Voight anymore, and that's another conversation for another time. All the new quests on the maps are interesting, and since there are, I think, like 20 of them, it gives you a really good reason to go to that map in the first place, despite it being hellaciously toxic within the first minute of a raid. This map is a very nice addition, and it's going to get really interesting once that lighthouse is open and we get to see what that trader's like. Who the hell knows what that trader's going to have for supplies, but I imagine it'll be very powerful, but only time will tell. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I hope to see you in future ones.